Welcome back everybody to the ESL CSGO Pro League here in Europe. My name is Dan Gaskin, joined on the desk by Hugo, and we've got North versus Mouse as our second game of the day, which is a very exciting one. Obviously Mouse at the moment, or well, they were top of the table. I don't know if results elsewhere have changed that, but North, they're sitting in 4th place, but we've got to remember that this is a Mouse that have now changed that lineup. They are a very different team just because of losing that one player. Yeah, exactly. Their first match since obviously losing Nico just to FaZe Clan a couple of weeks ago, so I feel like this is going to be a real telltale to see if they can continue to stay at the top of the board, or at least in the top few, or if they're suddenly going to drop back down after losing, well, what everyone would consider their star player and one of the best players in the world as well. Yeah, and first map is going to be Mirage as well between these two. I mean, North have looked fairly strong. I mean, they had a good showing at IEM. They're obviously 4th in Pro League as well, so they've got a lot to do. But do you think this is going to be a relatively comfortable one against Mouse, or do you think Mouse will still be able to carry through despite losing Nico? I mean, this map is okay for North. It's not a bad map by any means. They have a fairly large map pool anyway, but Mouse as well, this is one of their top maps, right? Alongside Cash, this is a map that Mouse really do want to play. These two teams do have very similar map pools in that regard, so going into this, I don't feel that Mouse have a huge disadvantage in terms of the map pool coming into these two best of ones. That being said, I feel like individually, and coming down to a lot of the team play, I feel like obviously North are going to have a way bigger advantage. All we're going to keep doing is reiterating the loss of Nico, but it is a real loss. Some would say he was the backbone for the team, and the only reason the team was in fact relevant internationally and attending these big events. And despite him even doing very, very well, even in their losses, they don't seem to have any kind of good results behind their back. They don't commonly make the playoffs. They bombed out of the major. I don't think they even qualified for Las Vegas. They bombed out. Oh, no, they didn't even qualify for IEM. Stuff like that. So Mouse gonna have their issues, I definitely think, coming into this matchup. Well, before we go a bit more in depth, we'll have a look at results elsewhere today and see how these teams are faring on the opposing stream, or the other stream. Na'Vi winning 16-6 against Envy, and then 16-12. That's Inferno and Train. So good result from Na'Vi coming out from there. I know Guardian was hitting some crazy shots, as he always does, so that might change the league table a little bit. And obviously we saw Hellraisers winning 16-9 on Train, but then being overturned by Kinguin 16-6 on Cash. And okay, back to North versus Mouse then, and we spoke about how well both of these teams are on Mirage. I mean, we saw in week 1, I think Fnatic actually were taken down by North 16-5 on Mirage. So that shows what North are capable of. Of course, that was Fnatic's first week since they changed that lineup, so they're definitely capable of it. On the other side, for Mouse, they played Spirit the other day, and they were able to take down Spirit. They did lose this series in the end, which was a bit questionable, but at least they're good at Mirage, and they also beat FaZe at DreamHack Las Vegas, so they're more than capable of performing well on this map as well. Yeah, definitely. I feel like, at least looking at, obviously, as I said, previous results, North are kind of on paper the better team. I don't expect Mouse to pick up a map here, but that being said, we've seen the previous matchup, and that went kind of against what we expected. So there's definitely a chance for Mouse to be a dark horse. Maybe North will underestimate them, assuming that they're total rubbish now that they've lost Nico, and obviously they're not the case. That's not being the case. They aren't completely useless now, but they're definitely going to be severely handicapped. Missing a leg or an arm or something. And you casted that series the other day between Spirit and Mouse, and how has Oscar filled the boots of Nico? Has he completely like for like trying to take that role, or have they had to shift things here and there? Well, obviously he plays a different role, right? He's on that AWP. We see both two AWPers, two very good AWPers, Oscar and Chris J, in the same lineup, but Oscar was the one commonly to pick up the AWP. Obviously Nico wasn't quite on that, so very different roles in that regard, but still the role of the Mad Fragger, the standout player, right? Obviously we didn't see them play together for too long. Oscar was removed from the lineup, and there was a lot of back and forth, and now he's back and with Chris J, and Mousesports have been very reckless with the roster changes, going and removing Chris J, added him back, and everything. So, I mean, yes, he's a star player. Yes, he's very, very good individually, but it's hard to compare anyone to Nico, right? You can't put them in the same bus. They're completely different, and I feel like it's going to be hard for him to at least show up the way Nico did. Yeah, we saw what he did at IEM. He just had a fantastic performance on FaZe, of course. But okay, on the side of North then, who are we looking at to really stand out and make the big plays? I mean, you got the duo of Magis and Config, right? The two star players to the team. MSL, obviously one of the IGLs that doesn't really frag as much, but he still occasionally has a standout performances. I feel like the thing is with North is they're a wholly consistent team. They all have the ability to step up massively. We've got Cajun, who's always firing off big shots, and I especially look towards Magis and Config, right? The two young players, the two stars of the team, to kind of show up and go big. Alright, well, whilst we're waiting for the players, you know what time it is. Let's take a look at some of the tips for Mirage this time.
Hey Future Pros! Today we have a nice and simple smoke for mid-window. This smoke is very handy if you get stuck behind the mid boxes against an AWPer. This smoke should anger the AWPer immensely, so watch out for him rage peeking from connector. For this smoke you will need to be behind the mid boxes. Crouch down in this corner and aim at the corner of this box. Then just let the smoke soar for around 3 minutes and you should have a perfect mid-window smoke. Good luck!
Hey Future Pros, hope you like that one. Mirage, of course, is going to be map 1, but let's delve into map 2 a little bit while we're waiting for these players to get ready then. It is going to be Inferno. Obviously Inferno now reintroduced to the map pool. Wasn't there in week 1, but we brought it in for weeks 2 and now 3 as well. I mean, how good is this for not just players, but for spectators as well? Inferno is a great map.
Yeah, everyone loves Inferno. We all missed it greatly when it kind of exited the map pool, and you know that varies map to map. When Dust went from the map pool recently, no one cried, no one was upset. We all want it gone. So Inferno now being back in the map pool is great, right? Everyone's a big fan. It's one of the El Clasico maps, right? So it's good to see it kind of be reintroduced and see how teams react to it and play on it. We've seen some interesting styles and not too heavily changed from the previous Inferno, but I like that. I like that they haven't completely butchered the map. They've just changed a couple of little things. I like the addition to Banana, obviously, with it being wider and adding that little wall, which adds a lot of wall bangs that we've seen. But yeah, I feel like the map pick of Inferno is a very interesting one. There's a big talking point because while North haven't had a lot of experience on it in terms of playing, many times they've had a couple of matches. I think the interesting one to look at is Mouse. So. For those who didn't check it out yesterday, we had the Star Series match on Mouse versus Spirit. It was a round of 16, single elimination, best of 3. We saw Spirit ban Nuke, and then Mouse insta-picked Inferno. Now, this is weird, right? Why would you insta-pick Inferno? Why, this is odd. They'd never played it before in a competitive environment, aside from scrims, I can assume. So they had obviously been practicing it, right, for them to be so confident in their first pick. We see them, they start off on the T side, they lose their 9th round, we're like, okay, let's see how they do. They get 11 rounds T side. Just a phenomenal T side, so well put together. It looked like the loss of Nico didn't affect them, and then they lost a game 16-12. 1 round on CT side.
Feels bad, man.
Yeah, terrible. So...
Yeah, so if we get to Inferno then, Mouse obviously looking to make up for that loss, but we did see North win 16-10 yesterday against G2 on Inferno, so it's a confident one for them. So clearly we're swinging in that direction for North against Mouse. But I didn't ask you for a prediction on Mirage. Like, how do you actually think that one's going to play out?
I think that's going to be interesting. I still feel like the loss of Nico, despite Oscar being great with the AWP and having Chris J as well, the ability to throw in that double AWP and kind of spice things up, which is very common in Mirage as well. I still feel like it's going to be a favourable victory to North. This is a good map for them. They shouldn't have any issues with it. I'm going to say something like 16-8, 16-9, to be honest, in the favour of the Danish side. What about you?
I want to agree with you, but I feel like I should go against you, because I went against you last time and went in my favour. So I think Mouse are going to make it a close one. I think North will still win, but I think it's going to be maybe 16,
at least you're realistic, right? 14
or 13. Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, I think Mouse are going to win, but honestly, after that performance the other day against Spirit, I'm really struggling to see that. Maybe there's been lots of practice that's come out from Mouse. And
in 24 hours?
Yeah, 24 hours you can do a lot. You can learn new smokes with our pro tips and all that jazz.
There we go.
And maybe they'll play a little bit better. But yeah, I'm a little bit worried for Mouse, and I don't know how much this lineup's going to change over the course of the next few months. I feel like there's a lot of absolutely fantastic players on this squad, of course, but it's a question of, are they going to gel together?
Yeah, it's a horrible one as well, because I hate to pick on individual players, but you just got to be realistic, right? We have the Star 3 core. We have, obviously, Oscar, Chris J and Lau, all very good, talented players. And then we have Spiddy and Dennis. I'm kind of... you see where I'm going with this one. I don't think they're quite on par with the rest of the team. I still feel that they're good players and they can play at this kind of level, but I feel like if Mousesports had 2 other stars, made it this full international team, made it the FaZe or whatever, I feel like it'd be a far better contender for a top-tier team. That being said, Spiddy and Dennis definitely do have the days when they step up. Dennis more so than Spiddy, but at the end of the day, I feel like the 3 core of Lau, Chris J and Oscar are just miles above, and that kind of handicaps them when they have 2 weaker players who can't quite step up to the same level as consistently as they can.
And obviously they're 5-1 at the moment. They're sitting pretty at the top, and I'm wondering whether there is going to be a slight fall from grace from Mouse, and how much that's going to impact the league table, because those teams that have already lost to Mouse and now other teams are going to be like, oh, actually, we're playing a lot weaker version of
Yeah.
Mouse, and that's a fantastic opportunity to get
They
back
got
in the
lucky,
league.
right?
Can Mouse, realistically speaking, with this lineup, do you think they can still continue their run and be at the top of this table?
I mean, yeah, it is going to come down to matchups at the end of the day and maps and all of that, but I don't think they are out. I don't think they're going to get relegated or be exactly at the bottom. I think worst comes to worst, they'll be stuck around the middle stage, so they'll still be in next season anyway. But yeah, I don't see them continuing being at the first place, but definitely still a contender, right? I don't think they're complete rubbish. They are definitely a great team together, and they've proven that. So yeah, there's a good chance.
Well, this is certainly a good test to see how this Mousesports lineup is going to perform without the man Nico, and we're going to be kicking things off. Mouse are going to be on this T side. They're going to get aggressive, but 3 members of North are going to be there to greet them. MSL is going to be the first. Can't quite find the frag. There is Dennis finds 2. He finds a 3rd as well, and he pushes onto the side. That's 4 for him now. Going absolutely mad. He's going to push in and try and find the ace. It's going to be an easy bomb plant, but North just falling like flies here.
I take everything I said about Dennis in the pre-game back. Every single word. What a stomp. 4 headshots. That is just incredible. All onto Magisk, and frankly, I think this round is well and truly over. Mousesports not having lost a man yet, and I feel like that's not only due to Dennis going crazy, it's also North kind of reading it wrong. I don't think they were expecting the fast B play, and why would they? So they set up for that triple push into the B apps. Now that's great when Mousesports are heading towards an A site, or maybe have a lurker over in the B apps, or taking his underpass control because you have a triple B play. Even if you get picked by one of the Glocks, instant trades, no issues because you've got so many players. So very unfortunate that we saw that setup from Mouse go very, very hard in towards that B site, and unfortunately we are just going to see for North missing out of that one.
That's the thing. There was several players there at B site, but as you said, they kind of went for that aggressive and they all backed off out of apps, and then you're just in poor positions and you're able to get caught out. And if Dennis is going to be hitting shots here, there and everywhere, it's extremely difficult as Mouse take the opening round, and they can buy up 2 AKs to work with, 2 UMPs and just the 1 scout, but it is going to be a deco for North. 5 Deagles, can they do any damage with them on the CT side here?
Config's got a bit of armor, but other than that, they're just going drive for this one. And AZ peeking out into middle. We have a lot of phenomenal aimers here on the north side, so looking at them, very good chance they could exploit these SMG players as well. Even the scout onto Oscar, but the AK is going to be lethal up against these long-range Deagles. Either way, Mouse playing it very, very slow and calculated. They don't want to give away this round, especially not after picking up such a phenomenal pistol. So they are just going to take things slower. In towards the B apps they go as they start to take a little bit more control. No split coming out. The only lone player is going to be Lowell over towards the T-Spawn, but he will be joining them eventually, or maybe just holding off on the mid-presence to see if North go for the aggressive rotations. But Config spotting on towards B. Oh no, fully exposed. Somehow he gets out of there against 4 Mousesports players. They're still going to rush on in. Config, he has to get something done because his teammate is already out of the count. Config gets dropped, and the retake is already on here for North.
Yeah, Chris J just pushing onto the site easily with the UMP, and it's going to be very tough for North to retake this site now. He just got caught out there on top of Van as well. I'm surprised that he was able to escape and survive for as long as he did, but now North would probably just back off and save what they can. There is a kit there that they can work with, but even these Deagles taking them to the next round is going to be better than nothing. But a nice aggressive start from Mouse, certainly working out, and perhaps they've got a chance here to silence any doubters about this lineup.
Yeah, maybe the B rush every round will work out for them. Who knows? But obviously this is only Antico, so we're not really expecting too much from North. I feel like you typically see more from these Deagles, but either way, it's not too much of an issue. We'll be bringing some of those into the next round as well, just having another play around. And the other team members, obviously, aside from Config, MSL can reinvest in a Deagle here. He could even get one dropped over to Config as well, so money not too bad, but they might just be saving for the utility here with a 2,700 left in the bank on the majority of these guys. Mousesports, still fairly clean, not too much of an issue. Going to be going into this one with heads held high, looking to Antico once again.
It can always be tough going up against Deagles, because if you can just get caught out, and it can be detrimental if they manage to find that weapon as well. But Lauer's going to get aggressive onto the site once again. They're just so quick onto these sites. Does turn away from the flash, and they can't find the frag just yet. Magisk eventually picks it up. Can they get the weapon is the real question, as Chris J is now pushing his way onto the B site again. And he's going to be greeted by MSL, just walking around, trying to play coy here, but Chris J turns around, finishes him off. Does just have 2 HP to work with.
Nice reactive play. 2 is spotted towards A, so he goes to that fast B play just to kind of get into the site while they don't have enough players or manpower. Either way, AZ rotates back in, and one swift shot to the chest will render Chris J dead. It's a 3-on-3 now, but still weaponry heavily in the favour of Mousesports, but maybe not for long as Magisk, he's got the Deagle on the site and he's found himself one. There's another one, he spams away, but Dennis will get the better of that engagement. Trey comes out, Molotov goes in deep, but Config, oh look at this push, this is just typical Config, right on the edge of the smoke over towards the bench, looking for more, but Spiddy says no, and now it's all on AZ, no armour. But he could take down the bomb planter or even the defender of it, as the bomb will be stuck. He peeks out, they're expecting it. Oh, what? He takes one! But still, Spiddy is quick on the trigger, and Mousesports 3-0.
Good that Spiddy came off the bomb there. Would have been interesting if he had actually held that. That could be a completely different round, but a little bit of damage done by North. And now they can buy up, get these M4s, but there is going to be an AWP to work with from Oscar. And you said that Oscar is that man that will be hitting those shots. Has obviously replaced Nico in this side. Is a lot of his on his shoulders, but he is playing a very different role. I'd love to see him go off. I'd love to see him silence any critics of this side, to be honest. Ooh. But Cajun B will open things off when Oscar comes in to get the trade. Getting that early AWP pick. Really important to get them back into this round, and obviously the 4-on-4 is going to favour the T side.
Definitely so, especially with the utility left on them. North, they're a little bit crippled in that regard, despite saving from that third round, not reinvesting in the Deagles that they lost. Either way, we're going to see Mousesports back towards A, so it's not a B-rush every round. Ladies and gentlemen, there's Magisk, he's going to be alone on the site. AZ's posted up towards connector here, so just holding on for the time being for North. And they are going to have a bit of a late rotation as well, because it's unlikely they're going to push in through mid without the support of the window room from Cajun, so they might have to rotate in through the market, at least those B players, which could leave Mousesports to having a really good advantage getting onto this site. But let's see, the smokes go rain over. This is going to be clearly telegraphed. We see the third player surely start to rotate sooner or later as Magisk. He's just sitting towards the back of the site. They don't Molotov it. AZ pushing in through the edge of the smoke, and they don't even check it. He gets himself a free kill, turns it into two, and Magisk, he's wiped them down. There's only Oscar remaining, and while he has the AWP, it's a hard task ahead.
It seems strange that they wouldn't check Firebox. I mean, like, usually that's one of the first places you will see teams check. I don't know if that's just a lack of communication or whether he was just checking something else and got caught off guard, but either or, North will put one on the board, and it's exactly what they needed to do. It's still going to be money to work with for Mouse, and now North need to continue this fine form. And I guess what I didn't touch on is when we were talking about Mouse having a poor performance against Spirit the other day, is that was earlier on in the day, and sometimes playing in the evening can be a lot better for teams as they are just a little bit more awake. I mean, esports never sleeps. As Oscar gets the opening frag onto a Marcel. A very aggressive approach now coming through as they are pushing through apps, but Config will be the first point of defense. Can he find anything? He's trying to spray down, but can't. As Dennis gets that, it's a 5 versus 3 now, and they're going to push onto this site.
Mousesports so perfect on this site take already, looking like they're going to be able to reset North back down to the terrible loss bonus. As Oscar, he has control, but he doesn't check Cajun. Over towards short, he gets dropped in AZ. He's already forced himself up. They're not going to expect this close-up position. He turns it into a 3-on-3. So far, Mouse, they still haven't got this bomb down. It is lurking in apps, but Dennis won't be able to escape without getting taken down over from the market or short. Zazy, oh, perfect nade. That is going to dunk right onto Dennis. Goodbye. As Lau, he will get a refrag over towards the CT spawners. He's wrapped himself in through the A site, but still, it's a grave task ahead of Mousesports. There's a 2v2 in play and an AWP and an M4 left on the side of North.
Yeah, I mean, interesting that they still have the bomb and they didn't commit the bomb to that site, so now they do have the freedom to rotate and try and split North here. It's going to be a question of whether North are going to commit to either site, but perhaps there's been a little bit of sound cues. You can see now Cajun B is rotating around behind the bomb here. Has the bomb heard any footsteps of his own, though, as they are pushing now slowly onto this A site. And Cajun B is going to be in prime position to try and take one of these players down.
But bomb is default, so he won't be able to stop that. Spiddy has no need to peek. The CT plant is perfect now, because Lau is just going to be able to hold on to that. Spiddy playing up close and personal with the UMP. And Cajun, he's going to start to try and clear the site. Now, Spiddy, he cannot afford to peek here unless he has a really good reason to. He just needs to sit up close, because this AWP is not going to be as effective in a close range unless Cajun goes to that no-scope. I think he knows there's someone on the site, though. There's the peek with the flash. Spiddy won't connect, and now his position is given away, but at least he has Lau to support from CT spawn. Now onto AZ. He has a kit to play with and the smoke for the bomb, but he doesn't have a lot of time. Wraps around the site, and Spiddy, there we go, plays it perfectly, sits on default, and he takes the kill. Mousesports looking very good, I will admit.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. They were so aggressive to get onto that B site so quick, but because the bomb was so late, they were able to have that freedom just to rotate ever so slightly, and I thought that there was going to be a big chance for Cajun, but because he slowed down, because he didn't want those footsteps to be given away, he wasn't in a great position. And good stuff from Mouse from not peeking too eagerly as well, just biding their time, being patient, peeking above the smoke as well, and catching Cajun off guard.
Good team play there. And now North are going to be on this eco. With only a P250 to their name, and that's on config. Mouse are looking very, very good. Still continuing this dominance on Chris J with the SMG. typically the AWPer of most of the teams he's been in, but obviously going into one with Oscar, it's hard to kind of show up to that level. So he's just going to be going with he's often the man to bite the scout, right? We always see him on the CT side on that scout, you know, profound scoutmaster indeed, but just playing the anti-eco gun, trying to rack up some money ASAP. As North, they're going for a double connector stack with the mid control through the window as well, so a bit of aggression early on. They have the support from the top of mid, and Magisk, he's going to push up very close, but look, Mousesports just expecting this. They have so many players, and the AWP is going to make its mark. Oscar shoots into the face of Magisk, and while it's not exactly an easy round anyway for North, the man advantage is going to make things way easier for Mouse.
Yeah, Mouse just more than happy to just move away from mid as well, just in case anyone from North is getting aggressive. Config's going to push through apps as well, so he's going to walk into most of these Mouse players. Can he find anything with the pistol? No, he can't. Chris J shuts him down, and now they can get aggressive and push through apps on their own. Accord here, get onto the site, get the bomb plant down. It should be 5-1, it should be easy peasy. There are a couple of players in Kitchen they do need to worry about, but they make short work of AZ and MSL, and that'll be that. 5-1. Mouse looking pretty strong, actually. I mean, I'm going to be honest, we did play them down ever so slightly. In the preamble, we said we didn't think Mouse were going to be too effective without Nico, but they're looking strong. They're looking like a team that do deserve to be at the top of the league table.
Yeah, but to be honest, can you blame us, right? They've always been an inconsistent team, even with Nico, and now without Nico, you would expect them to just fall into irrelevance, but no. That being said, we are chanting their praises. We are 5 or 6 rounds in, so let's give North some breathing room, some time to get on that up, to get a proper buy-in. I mean, looking at this one again, still not fully bought up, as Magisk or AZ don't have a real good nade set. So Famas left on Magisk as well, not exactly the best buy in the world. That being said, it's enough for North to get the job done, and they need to get the job done ASAP. They have the close ramp player, they have the player on the site as well. This is going to be the perfect setup. They have enough players in for rotations as well. Magisk, oh, he pushes in through the smoke. This is so good. They're running right past him. He's going to be in the best position possible. Spiddy's down. He looks for more, and Oscar not going to be able to connect enough shots here, but he actually pushes in through the ramp. That's perfect. Leaving Config on the site isolated, but it doesn't matter because the smoke is going to allow him to have that freedom of movement. Takes down another one, and now a 2v2 in play. The bomb yet to be planted.
Yeah, just MSL left, pushing through connector here. There is utility to work with from Mouse, but they have just thrown it all. Just one more Molotov left, and it's going to come out as well to try and force out MSL. Can he find these shots is the real question. It looked like it was going in North's favour after Magisk getting those opening frags, but he wasn't able to continue his damage. Once he pushed through that smoke, he was taken down. Oscar slowly edging his way across the site, trying to get an angle. I don't know if they are aware that MSO is on stairs here. I think they might have thought he went across the jungle. He can't connect with that shot either, so the bomb is going to go down here.
Yeah, and both players on the site, with him not having a Molotov, is going to be very difficult. Might be able to get an elevated position on the bench, but doesn't want to jump to expose himself too much. They don't know he's wrapped, and Oscar's going to expect it. Turns back around with the AWP, and this man is on fire right now. He is just destroying North. As you can see, him and Dennis at the top of the score, but obviously Dennis after that phenomenal pistol round, but Oscar very, very effective, 7-3 himself. So Mousesports 6-1 up. No tactical pause in sight yet from North, and I feel like if they lose out on another buy round, or even I personally feel like if they lose out, well, when they lose out on this eco, they should be going for the pause, right? Because that's 7-1 T-side Mirage. That's pretty impressive.
Definitely looked like a different squad, Mouse, at the moment to what we saw the other day against Spirit in some online games. North really need to find something. Someone needs to step up, change this, try and kill Mouse's momentum. This conflict's just going to get flashed off, so he's not going to make an impact. Of course, it's an eco round, so it should be an easy one for Mouse. It could have been such a different round last time. Magisk, with that position, he was able to get one. If he was able to find that second through the spray down through the smoke, that could have quite easily been North's round, and then that could have really flipped the game on its head. But obviously hindsight's a wonderful thing. It didn't happen. And Mouse now are just pressing on and looking very dominant in this game. And as you said, if the tactical pause doesn't come through from North in this next round and Mouse continue their dominance, then we're looking at a really tough game for North going into that second half.
Yeah, this is looking good though with the rotation. It's going to be read fairly well. There's only one player over towards B, but still with only USPs at this kind of range and a couple of invested pistols, it's not going to be great. Although Chris J, he'll hear that runaway from the B site, so he might actually call for the rotation towards there. Either way, they are actually going to still commit despite knowing that the B site's fairly unguarded. Chris J taking the fight in the meantime. He will open it up onto MSL, but still North yet to rotate because they know this A play is coming underway. They are going to be spotted, and there's only one kill coming out from Magisk with that Deagle. He will be dropped by the AWP. And AZ jumping in. Okay, that's quite impressive, but Oscar will trade. Still on point with that AWP. 3 kills for him that round, and Mousesports 7-1. If they don't win this buy round, this is a shambles from North.
Do they have enough for an AWP is the real question.
Config can get it chested over, but he will have no utility.
And perhaps this is what North need. They need an AWP there. Well, there is it coming through, so they can slightly change things up. They've really been lacking in the kind of control department on this game, so perhaps that AWP will help them keep maybe some mid-control, perhaps. But it's whether Mouse are just going to be able to burst through and continue the aggression that we've seen previously, and Oscar gets the opening onto Config, so that AWP goes down straight away. They tried to hold B-Apps, but Oscar says no, you can pick up an AWP every day of the week, but I'm going to win this 1v1.
Yeah, great stuff from Oscar, looking to be the new Nico here. As we can see, they will be rotating the bomb once again back towards EA's site. We have a close position from Magisk. The issue is, if he goes down, that's going to completely open this one up. Look at the positions in north that they're playing. One in towards jungle, one in towards connector. This isn't great. This is more of a retake setup here for North than anything. That being said, if Magic can get the info, or at least one kill, then drop back, very favourable for North to take this round. But Mousesports are setting up all these smokes. As soon as he hears a pins, he should push up or back off. He shouldn't sit here in the open because it's so dangerous. He will throw down a molly. That'll be good. And he actually pushes up with it. Here we go. Spitty going to be spotted. That's the first kill. Bomb dropped as well. So instant rotations now coming out from North. And Magix, he's not done yet. Found himself 3 kills. That's a massive performance from Magix. And somehow he's still alive. Somehow he hasn't been traded, but eventually will go down to Oscar.
Yeah, he just tried to whip out the pistol to finish it off. I thought he chanced for a little bit long, but eventually he was taken down, as you say, leaving us in a 2v2 now. Oscar just holding this angle in case anyone's going to be coming from behind. Obviously, not aware of where the CTs could be. They could be here, there, and everywhere, as Lowell is just waiting to burst out of Palace as well. And it's going to be a situation where Mouse can pick and choose once again, try and split this North roster. Try and force someone over to that B site to get an advantage when they push on, but perhaps now with the utilities coming through, North are going to be well aware. Lowell is going to be tagged down to just 13 HP as his teammate's going to push on. Try and plant the bomb. KGB should be able to stop this. Yes, he can. Can he get the second? Yes, he gets the follow-up. MSL finishes off Lowell, and North finally putting a second on the board, and it's exactly when they needed to step up.
And just off the back of Magisk as well. Without him, that round could have been very dangerous. I like the push, though. He throws in the molly, he sees the play, and he just goes for it, and it works out phenomenally. So now, another round on the board for North, but can it continue, or will Mouse get the reset? That's the question we're all wondering. The T side still has plenty of cash to play with, so will we the full buy here? And despite North also having a similar full buy, okay, Cajun, quick pick down mid.
What is Cajun B doing? Crazy risks he's taking, just jumping out there, but he's hitting the shots. And it's what North needed, to be honest. They needed to get that opening pick. They've been allowing Mouse to be the aggressors and get those opening picks each round, and they've been on the back foot ever since. So, showing a little bit of innovation there and trying to change things up. I like to see it.
Very nice. And it does work out. Obviously, Config missed out in the previous round, but it's Cajun this time to make it work. And Mousesports, let's see how they react to this one. They're all posted up towards B, yet to commit. Oscar down into middle. If he can catch himself a pick or at least split up through the short area, that's great. But North have been very heavy on the mid control, having not only short, but also connector under control as well as window. So a bit of a risk for Oscar to split down here, but if he goes maybe late, it could be good. He takes his way in towards middle. The rest of Mousesports up in towards a B-app, so it's looking very clear here with a minute left on the clock that they're going to be committing. And already Config going to fall back from the short area to the site, expecting this play. MSL though, he spots it. That's a big frag, opens things up, and he takes a man advantage one step further.
Yeah, and Config will chime in with one of his own as well onto Spitty. Looks for a second, he will catch Lowell with his pants down, leaving just Oscar on his own with the AWP. I mean, he's been doing crazy things so far, but can he go as crazy to win a 1 versus 4 here? No is the answer. Config gets a headshot, and it is going to be a third round for North.
Yeah, good stuff. No reset. They keep 4 players alive, so money going to be on the up here on out as Mousesports. They're facing their own economical struggles, so they can afford some kind of investment, but probably just the quasi we're going to be seeing is the loss spend is going to be 2,400 after this round, so they'll have a little bit more money into their bank. So yeah, save 2 to 3k, that'll be perfectly enough. And you can see a scout on Oscar, actually opting to go for it instead of Chris J, and the rest of them just on the pistols. Let's see if Oscar can get anything done. We know he's dangerous with the AWP, but can that carry on to the $1,700 rifle? And apparently not. Not even a tag. Config takes him down, and Armorless aim punch will finish him off.
Yeah, I was expecting something great, but unfortunately it didn't happen as Config will now run through and grab 2 onto Chris J and Dennis. Just 2 players remaining on Mouse. Lauer is going to pick up that scout, see if he can do any damage, but he's not hitting anything either as Config is really taking this fight to 2 people. Cajun B eventually comes in to help him out, leaving Spitty on his own at top middle, but that round was always going to be a little bit of a formality. 4th round for North, they're right back in this now, and if they can take this one, this is finally, well, looking like a good half for North. They've finally woken up. That AWP has really made the difference, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely so. It It's nice to see that they weren't completely getting crumbled. It looked at the start the Mousesports were going to be something completely different to what we expect, and we're about to dominate them, but nope, North are still in this. So Oscar not on the AWP this time, can't quite afford it. And again, Cajun, he does this. He tries to go for the jump, I think, there into the short area to try and get that quick pick, but luckily for him, no one's putting pressure towards middle, so he actually makes it out alive this time. That being said, no pick. So Mousesports will have all of their forces as they head up towards this A site. Cajun's going to react. He will take the top and mid control with that support from short as well, but that's going to mean they have a very lax control towards the B site. That's not going to be an issue though, because Mouse, they're hitting A.
Yeah, they're all just bombarding their way into A. Magix isn't going to take that aggressive position. He's going to be taken down on Firebox by Dennis. And now the rest of North are just trapped by these smokes here over on stairs and jungle. There's just 3 of them remaining against 5. A couple are weak. Will he catch? Oh, Chris J almost gets caught through the smoke there. AZ eventually finds him. Really important kill because that's the bomb down now. And they can just guard this bomb. They know exactly where there is. They don't need to get aggressive. AZ can't quite find Spiddy though. Really important kill from Spiddy as he can pick up that bomb. And Config's got so much to do. He's going to obviously put the Molotov down onto Firebox. That's why it's called Firebox. And it's a 2 versus 3 as Gage and B will find one. But it's just now Config left.
Alone towards CT, will boost himself on top of the box to get an elevated position. It'll actually work out. 1 quick kill. He follows up with 2. The bomb plant's in, but Spiddy's 2 HP left. And Config's got a Tech 9. He can spam with that gun as he wraps around the back of the box. Spiddy not going to make it away in time, but he still takes the kill. Mousesports are going to take 8 rounds on the board. And wow, what a close one from Spiddy there. 2 HP and he makes it work.
Incredible that Spiddy was able to survive there. That could have been so different. And Mouse put the 8th on the board now. And as soon as it looked like North were gaining a little bit of momentum, Mouse have thwarted that. So still enough money just about for North to get a AWP once again in the hands of Cajun B. And really they don't want to be allowing Mouse any more than 8 in this half if they want to be able to successfully come back in their second half.
Yeah, 7 rounds. I mean, that's low for a CT side. So already having Mouse up to this kind of scoreline, they need to continue it onto the CT side. If they get this reset, that's going to be perfect for leading them to 7. It will definitely guarantee them 6 pretty much. And then 7 is, well, that's the wild card round, but let's start off with this one, I guess, as we do see Mousesports set up outside of the B site again. Bomb going to be backing off as they head in towards the T-spawn, so not really putting too much aggression over towards mid, despite having Oscar back on that AWP. And that's the thing as well, there's no mid control from North either. They're playing far too passive, well, not far too passive, but very passive at least. Cajun's over towards stairs. Now, I think he's holding on to ramp as well, with the Palace control held by Magisk. But we can see, oh no, he is holding ramp, so Magisk's holding Palace, yep. And we will see a bit of a push come in towards the ramp area. Now, essentially what this is this is going to be either an A fake with the 3 players pushing up short, which would be unlikely, or the A take with these players pushing in connector, which looks far more than possible here with the smokes going out.
Yeah, Cajun B just getting tagged down ever so slightly, but that smoke hitting him right in the noggin. Mouse aren't pushing in just yet. They're creeping their way up middle, and AZ going to be the first point of defense. Is he going to spot Dennis through the smoke here? Didn't quite see him, but Dennis might have seen some feet. And Oscar gets the frag onto AZ, and that will allow them to push onto this site as Oscar finds a second as well. And Magisk, now he's in such a prime position here in Palace. Can he burst out and find anything? No one's seen him just yet. Yes, they have. Dennis gets him. Oscar gets his 3rd as well, leaving just Config on his own once again. A fantastic push here from Mouse.
That is just perfect there. Oscar, I think, even wallbang Cajun through the little connector wood part onto the stairs. So I'm not sure if he saw him, if he just went for the luck shot, but that was pretty good. Config, though, needs to hold on to this gun. They need everything they can play for in the next round because there's no reset coming onto the likes of Mouse today. It's going to be a 9th round secured, and this is just very dominant stuff here from the T side. Issue is, obviously, can they continue it onto the CT side once we get to that? Or are they going to fall short? We've seen teams do that today. They've had great halves and then just lost it, Kingwin being one of them. So it's going to be very important that we see Mouse continue with this streak of rounds going into the second half.
I mean, speaking of having great halves and then losing them, didn't Mouse do exactly that on Inferno against Spirit?
Yeah.
So they're more than capable of throwing away a game, but they're certainly looking in good nick at the moment. It is going to be a tactical pause coming through, I presume, from North just to try and clear things up. Try and just discuss a little bit what's going wrong, what can we change here? I mean, what would you be saying to the team in this kind of situation?
Hide from Oscar, because he's going off 16 kills.
Well, apparently he's wallbanging here, there and everywhere, so you can't even hide from him.
No, there we go. 16 kills for him. Very, very good performance, obviously, and Dennis just lacking behind at 10. So across the board, Mousesports just doing everything right. So North, I don't know, carrying on with this half. They've got an eco now. That'll be the second last round. Then they've got a buy coming out. Oh, okay, no, they've actually forced it. Okay, this is interesting. So the reason behind this is, despite them not having enough money, is they want to get back into this game ASAP. Because if they give away this round, it's 10 rounds guaranteed to Mouse, and then they're playing for a 5th. So they want to try and at least get themselves to 6th. But this is just, you know, risk reward. I don't know if it's worth it.
So both teams are not playing what we would have really expected. I mean, recent results would have suggested North were going to be performing a little bit better. Recent results would have suggested Mouse would be performing a little bit worse.
Yeah.
Is it a case that Mouse are just performing fantastically, or are North not quite reached their level yet?
Well, Mouse are always a T-sided team, even with or without Nico. I think that's a fair assessment. So I not only think that North are being a little bit stagnant with their CT side play in terms of they don't really have the control over towards the A site. They keep losing out on that. Even with the rotations being quite delayed as well, despite spotting the bomb. I think, you know, that one round Magic's got the 3K right. He spotted the bomb, and the rotation was something like 5 seconds, 10 seconds later. So things like that, at least in rotations, are a bit slow for North. But by and large, it's just Mouse hitting every single shot they can take. Oscar is going off. Dennis is doing very well. And I mean, everyone else on the team lacking behind a little bit, but it's not like it matters because they're just being carried.
I think I just want to see something a little bit more risque coming out from North. I mean, when KGB dropped out of window into mid and hit a shot with the AWP, that was what really changed it, and it swung a little bit of momentum in their favour. But Oscar's going to be the one playing the aggressor here. Can't quite catch the elbow. Looks for a second through the wall, but it's not going to happen. Config is just going to stand there and wait and hope that he's not caught. Oscar did see him drop down as they are just edging their way up these apps, but bomb has been dropped further back towards that T-spawn, so no one's going to be pushing just yet. As Magisk, look at this position here.
This is good. The issue is UMP, right? So he can't really push. Long-range engagement going to favour the AKs. All the AWP posted up there, so even though Chris J is holding it, he's in a great position. If they eventually try and split back down through the A site or go for any kind of control for underpass, he is going to win that engagement 9 times out of 10. So Mousesports, they aren't going to be hitting there. They are still sending their players into the B site. And this is the thing as well. Mousesports aren't doing anything incredibly tactical. They're just walking into B, and North are letting them get away with it. Obviously, their buy is weak here, but the fact that they're not even splitting is just something else. Either way, aggression towards underpass from Magisk does damage Chris, but the rest of them, they are just going to charge right into the B site. This is what I'm talking about. There's no split. There's nothing going on here, and they're still getting the opening kills. Magic's on the flank, though. He's made it work. He's got himself one. He needs to go big.
Yeah, he's found an AK as well. Is he going to be able to find a second? No, he can't. Oscar hits an incredible shot.
Oh,
finds another as well as Dennis comes in, and it's just KGB with a pistol. Oscar is... What are you eating? I want to know. I want to eat some. I want to be performing as well as you. As now KGB, with little hope in hell of doing this one, will find the first onto Dennis to make his odds ever slightly in his favour. But he has only got the slightest of HP. 39 HP. Does spot the man on short there, but it's not going to be able to find it. Yes, he can. Actually pulls out the 5-7. He finds another one! KGB, absolutely disgusting stuff. I said he didn't have a hope in hell, but somehow he pulls that out. Will get the defuse as well, and perhaps that is the tide turner for North.
That is huge. What a round as well from North. The 1 week did not expect them to win. They were trying to play for the 6th and the half, but it didn't seem possible. Somehow Cajun pulls out an incredible clutch, and that will keep them, you know, breathing going into this one. They're actually going to have a buy now, which is just something that we didn't expect. We expected the force buy just to be crushed, and them to have maybe $2,900, $2,400 to go for the last buy, and that was about it. So no, North somehow make it work off the back of the Cajun B clutch there, but that's the thing, right? All these rounds won by North are coming down to individual performance. You know, Cajun going nuts, Magic going nuts. So can this continue into the T side? Most definitely, but they need a lot of individual plays to really close out this map.
North now need to try and move on from that momentum swing from the clutch, as they have got so aggressive here in apps, and they're kind of trapped here now. The smoke will allow them to back off if they like, but they're going to continue this aggression here. You can see KGB's found his way to top middle as well.
They've spotted him. Chris just saw him there. He knows where he is. Going to be able to pre-fire this one. Oh, and he finds it. Goodbye, Cajun. No pistol clutch for you today. The man advantage is secure from Mousesports, and double down as well, as Dennis takes down one more in middle. AZ gets caught. And a 5-on-3. I like the aggression. The reactive play from Magic's pushed up. The issue is his crosshairs on the wrong place. He's looking towards Palace. They're instead pushing their way up, and they know there's a chance he could have pushed it. They know that Magic's plays ramp. So Chris J's going to be ready for this one. He takes the headshot, ducks under the shots, and now North just relegated to 2.
2 with UMPs as well. Grenade will come out. Isn't going to tag anyone down just a detrimental amount. It's going to be very difficult with this UMP for MSL, but he needs to wait. He needs to get help from Config, but no. Here comes Spitty. Notices Config, gets the spray down as well. Easy pickings for him. And MSL, can he do what Cajun B did in the previous round? Can he do the unthinkable? Nope, no he can't. Chris J finishes off the half. It is going to be 10-5 in favour of Mouse, but that's going to be half time, so we're going for a quick break. Mouse are leading North 10-5 here on Mirage, and I mean, we weren't really expecting this, let's be honest. I'm not going to play coy and be like, yeah, we knew Mouse were going to be absolutely performing out of this game. No, both of us said we don't think Mouse are going to be up for it. They are well up for it, and Oscar, well, as a replacement for Nico, I take my hat off to you, sir.
Yeah, very good performance. That being said, we need to face the crux of the issue that is Mouse. They are a T-sided team. We've seen, I mean, yesterday they did this exact same thing on Inferno. 11 rounds T-side against Spirit. They lost a game 16-12. If they lose out on the pistol, North can get some momentum. North could easily bring it back. And I'm not confident, despite Mouse having a great half, that they've closed out the game. This is still up for contention for the Danish side. North as well, very good at comebacks. So it could go either way at this point.
I'm wondering whether North are going to be able to execute as well as Mouse have been. Mouse have just been executing onto either site, A and B, so successfully. They've been able to wander onto the site with smokes, they've been hitting their shots, and North just allowed it for the majority. There were a couple of rounds where Cajun B dropped down with the up out of mid. That really changed it. Obviously, the pistol round was just insane, and well, the pistol kill with the 5-7, that 3K was just disgusting. I wonder whether Mouse are gonna, now they have this little cushion, this 5-round cushion, especially it could be an even bigger, an 8-round cushion if they take the pistol, whether they'll try and do something a little bit different. Try and catch North off guard a bit, because it is always advantageous when you do have that cushion to work with.
Yeah, and the surprise factor as well from Mouse. You know, they have these star players like Oscar that can go off at any point, so it'd be interesting to see how they do it. But a double smoke buy from North. They're set up both towards the A side. This is just a fast play, as Mousesports did over towards B on their pistol round. So let's see how it works out. Apparently not very well, according to Chris and Dennis, as they take a headshot each. It will be Chris looking for more, but Dennis, he's gone big again. Another pistol round for him. Chris has landed 2 in the meantime, and it's all on to Cajun. He's being hunted, and hunted like a dog. Mousesports, they are going to be able to take that pistol round, only losing 1 player. Dennis loves pistols.
See, now this is what I was worried about. I mean, we're possibly looking at a 13-5 advantage for Mouse and North, then the pressure's just on them, and Mouse have such freedom to just try and test any kind of risky plays, any aggressive pushes that they want, until it gets to slightly nervous for them, and then they go back to those defaults. Really, we need to see something soon from North if they're going to be able to get back into this one, because otherwise it's just going to snowball out of control and there's going to be too much momentum built for Mouse here.
Yeah, these Deagle rounds though, they have invested in armor this time, so at least they're banking on trying to get something done. I wouldn't count them out for this one, but that being said, it's a lot to bet on really, just some pistols. Though maybe the Deagle isn't just classed as a pistol, it's classed as a headshot machine, as obviously we've seen what some players can do with them. Up and towards middle though, North will go, up towards Connector. And this is the A site split. 1 Palace, 1 ramp, a distraction player at B, and he has been spotted as well. I think that's a config over there. So the rest of North going to be making their way in. I like the position for Dennis as well. Passive on mid, but he'll be able to peek out. Good timing, but AZ, he's going to be quick on the trigger. Takes the headshot, a rifle grabbed and supported by armor. These guns are deadly. The A site's under control. All that's left is Chris.
Yeah, Chris J with the scout here. Can he find anything? He has got a molly to work with. Going to throw that down onto Firebox. Bomb's going to go down. He's not going to be able to find anyone. He does tag him down. He's very weak. But that is going to be the bomb gone down, and now they can take some after plant positions. As you said, 1 M4 to work with, but Chris J slams a bullet into Cajun B's brains, and now he can look for more as the rest of his team are coming to assist him. Spitty taking down AZ as well, just Magisk and MSL left on these after plants. MSL does find one onto Chris J, needs to do more with his M4, a lot riding on his shoulders here. Needs to get aggressive and try and find a shot, but he's just holding an angle and he gets taken down. And now it's just Magisk left in Palace, and the defuse is going to come through, and I don't think Magisk is going to be able to stop it.
No, not at all. That's so unfortunate as well. North, they seem like they have that round in the bag, but they go for the open plants so they can get in the ramp after plants, and that just completely thwarts them, right? Because they sit in the open, Chris gets himself a bit of damage off, and then he gets the pick onto Cajun, and that round just falls apart. If they could get rid of Chris, if they could get aggressive in CT, which I feel like they should have done, they could have easily taken that round. Take out the 1 lurk player still on the site, and it's yours to play with North. So going into this one, Magic's still on the armor from the save. The rest of them going to reinvest in a couple of Deagles, but still got some Glocks on the T side, and already setting up for a couple of players on the fast B.
20 kills and 8 deaths for Oscar at the moment. Wow. Even when it's just a scout in the hand, he's still able to hit ridiculous shots. As Dennis is going to show some aggression here, and he'll take down MSL, and Chris J at the same time will remove AZ from the server, and it's 5 versus 3. Config is able to get one with the clock, but Lowell is going to get aggressive here in B apps as well, leaving just Cajun B on his own. Cajun B did do crazy things earlier, but he's not going to do more of the same. 13-5 as we expected, and now this is a do or die moment, to be honest, for North.
Yep, they have to pick up this buy. There's nothing else they need. The whole game is riding on it. And well, for what shouldn't have been a bad map for North, this has turned out to be a terrible map. Mouse are really bringing the hurt. Chris J's on the AWP on the CT side. Oscar's sticking with that scout, and I think that's more of a confident buy than anything, as he has been doing very, very well on the CT side so far. But either way, North, no AWP in their hands. They still have the rifles to play with. They had the money to go for one, at least with Kevlar, but they aren't going to be committing to it. It's going to be Dennis playing solo mid. He's got a lot of pressure on him because there's an underpass split as well coming out from AZ, but the nade goes out. That will do a bit of damage. Oh, look at Magisk, down to 12. Early damage, and North is not going to be favoured in that.
At the same time, Oscar was taken down to 5 HP as well, as Lau's going to get aggressive, and he does find Magisk. As you said, he was very weak. You will spray him down ever so slightly, so Lau's on 18 HP as well. There are some weak players on this Mouse lineup. North, if they can just find 1 or 2 bullets onto the chest, it will be a nice easy frag as they're moving their way towards this A site now. Need to be careful that they don't get picked off from behind. MSL did spot someone there just on CT, and they need to work together here to get onto the site. Need to get the bomb down and get some decent alpha plants. Config and Cajun will find decent frags, but Chris J is there to stop anything coming through. Can he find the wall bang? Not just yet.
There we go, Molly goes out deep, and Cajun will just remove his sculpt. Chris is down and out, and now Mouse left to 2 players, both of them very tagged up. Oscar only has a scout to play with, but there's a rifle just down on the ground. And, oh no, Lau will get caught out with his knife out, just trying to switch weapon. Oscar will make the sound cue. He drops as well. They know exactly where he is. There's surely nothing he can do. He's in the open, and MSL just going to take him out of the equation. North, what an important round that they do take.
Yeah, very much a pressure round there, and that was the rounds that I was really talking about. With Mouse having that cushion, I'm surprised they didn't go for something a little bit more extravagant and really try and catch North off guard, whilst North were a little bit nervous knowing that they have to win the round, but they played it safe. It looked like it was going pretty well until just decent frags coming out from North, and Cajun B picking up good kills there, and he'll have an AWP to work with now. Will he be able to fend off the man that is Oscar, though, who has been hitting everything so far?
Less so with the scout, more so with the AWP, but this time he'll back off. Smoke just going to ward his position useless, and AZ, oh no, that position for Dennis is perfect, just peeking on top of the smoke, gets himself a free kill. Spinny backs off as a react. As you can see, they have the man advantage, no reason to give it away to North here at this point, but we will just see these Ts continuing to push up towards short. Splitting in through B, they have the apps control, but again, Lau, he's aggressive. Config may have found an entry, and that might spark a push onto the site, but they need to clear out this apps position, and 2 players are going to be walking right into the crosshair of Lau. They might check it. They should check it.
You have to check it.
But will he get on top of it?
First place you've got to check, but even if you check it, sometimes the frag still won't come through. You at least have to trade with it. You've both got to be aware. If they don't check it, it will obviously be awful. You can see Magisk is kind of, with the silhouette there, you saw he edged towards and he was looking in that direction. So they'll be well aware that there is a possibility Lau could be here, but this could be massive if they don't check it for Mouse. This could be possibly a game-winning situation, and now we're going to turn off that X-ray just so we can see what Lau is seeing.
It's tense.
Here. Yeah, just get some suspense,
Oh,
but he does see it,
rifle.
and now he gives away his position as well, so no full is there. MSL comes in, gets the headshot, but Oscar comes in to take down Cajun B. They are going to burst quickly onto the site, but Oscar gets a second. Convict eventually takes him down, makes it a 2 versus 2. Bomb's going to go down, and the rotation's going to come through from the Mouse players.
Yeah, not much utility left on either team here, so it will make things a little bit difficult from the side of Mouse to try and get it back into the site. The flash is going to be enough, but they don't want to get caught with their pants down as they push on in. Dennis trying to make his mark up towards short, and Chris J's going to be splitting through the apps, but he's sneaking. They don't know where he is. His head will be exposed, and that will be spotted. MSL removes another head as well. Dennis is going to be found, and Chris J, he needs to hurry the hell up. There's still 2 players to find, but MSL, he's going to deny it. North are back in this game. They are fighting, and now Mouse are going to have to eco. Mouse's best opportunity to close this out before North got the ball rolling, and they are going to fall short.
I wonder if perhaps he had even the slightest bit more of trigger discipline rather than trying to take those shots. Do you reckon they saw him anyway, so he had to go for it? Or?
No, I think they pushed up with the rifle, and the barrel was peeking out, so he reactively shot, just, you know, because obviously he knows the players are there, right? He knows they're setting up for a replay, so he just shoots as the first thing he sees, and that gives away his position. I don't think they exactly knew he was there, but I'm sure they would have checked it eventually.
Well, Config gets 2 easy frags onto Dennis, and Chris J is an eco coming out from Mouse, and North slowly worming their way back into this game. Building a little bit of momentum. Question will really be if Mouse can actually stop this one. They try and do something aggressive through middle. Oscar does find 1 frag onto MSL, but that will be all. Just consolation frag. 13 to 8. And now, Mouse. Really important round here, Hugo. What do you think they need to do?
I mean, they can't get the AWP right, unless Oscar complete glass cannons.
Okay, so it's going to be a save.
I think they're
somewhat
doing this for the AWP, right? They're doing this for the AWP. They want it in play. Oscar could have got it from a non-armored perspective, but that's not a good idea, really. You're going to want that armor, you're going to want the nades as well. So they are saving just a little bit more money just to go for the buy in the upcoming round. Lau can invest in a nice little MP9 there. We will have close positions by and large here from the CT side. And this is what I like to see as well. This could be good. The issue is there's 3 players in Palace, so even if Oscar gets aggressive, it will be to his own demise. And let's see, one quick kill, goes in for more. His teammate will fall, and so will he. And now Chris J, I like the repositioning. They won't expect a player down here. That being said, though, he's going to go for the dry peek. No flashbangs, and Magic's almost being able to react in time. Chris J will at least get a 1, but it's a 3-on-3 and still weaponry in favour of North.
Yeah, KGB does find Chris J, but Spiddy comes in, makes it a 2 versus 2, and somehow pops a shot over across onto Cajun, and now it's just Config left, and he's only on 18 HP. How the hell have Mouse managed to find their way back into this round? Config sat there. He's thinking, what has gone wrong? Where have all my teammates gone? How have you been absolutely eliminated by CZ? And now you're slowly pushing onto the site. And with such little HP, this is going to be extremely difficult.
Yeah, the players are split up though, so he can take 2 one-on-ones. I think Lau's going to walk right back in. Look at the timing though, and he gives away his position with a flashbang. Lau will have seen that cross, so now they know exactly where he is in theory. But he's going to wrap in towards a B site, and Lau, he knows what's going on. Look at him, he's going in through the underpass here. Oh, the player turns around from CT. He still gets a kill. 4 HP left on the man, and the bomb, he's going to take it to the site. The issue is, there's no way he'd expect Lau this pushed up in B-apps.
Yeah, needs to be careful, needs to reposition and just be well aware of every possible angle. I like the defensive approach here in Kitchen. Is Lau going to be able to win this? What seemed like an unwinnable round for Mouse because of crazy plays. Now footsteps will be heard. Config's well aware, but he's still on that 4 HP. Lau not able to land that shot. Config needs to be so careful.
No.
He goes for the grenade. Why go for the grenade? As Lau will find that and will just about have enough time to get the defuse as well. And somehow, just somehow, Mouse put a 14th round on the board, and they had no right to.
No, that's the thing about those cheese rounds, though. When you have a quasi and you know you're going to be buying next round regardless, you kind of do nice and aggressive plays like that push up in apps, obviously from the CT side. So yeah, things like that are always going to end up in, you know, every now and then in round wins. But that was such a dire one for North. That should have just been an easy closeout. They should have been more worried about the buy. And now look at this, the AWPA team in D, Mousesports pulling up the double, Oscar and Chris J on that. And we still have 4 rifles for North, but no AWP to contest it.
It's always so hard going into these rounds as well, especially for North. After throwing away that, it just does so much to your mindset. You start to ask questions about yourself, about your teammates, and they've really just got to pull through as they need to stop Mouse getting any sort of momentum. Now as Spiddy going to be in a great position, does find one, and his teammates come through. Chris J and Dennis get them. Magisk will only get 1 kill onto Spiddy, and that's going to leave just 2 players left, Cajun B and Magisk. It's a 4 versus 2. And it looks like Oscar is going to catch one of these going through connector as well. That is going to be Cajun B, and he should get shot in the back if he tries to push through. Yeah,
he got the information. He doesn't get the kill, but that's enough to play with, right? And this spray, at least from Dennis, might actually trigger Lau to push in. I'm sorry, Cajun to push in through that connector. Either way, Lau's just going to go right onto peeking him, and it will all be onto Magisk alone towards ramp. And Mousesports just seconds away from a 15th round in what should not have been their map. But either way, they have done a phenomenal job of doing so. Oscar as well, really stepping up for the team. And in fact, across the board, Mousesports have just been very, very consistent in this map. The issue is, will they continue it onto Inferno? They have been practicing it. So, you know, there's a chance for it to go here. The issue is, obviously, we do have North, and we know what North are like with coming back.
And what's important is that Mouse, they get their 6th win of the league. They'll be 6-1, still sitting pretty at the top of the league. And I mean, it wasn't just us that were doubting Mouse. I'm sure there were many critics around saying we don't think Mouse are going to be the same without Nico. Can Oscar fill those boots? It's a completely different role, but Oscar has really shown today why he is a worthwhile pickup, as Magisk is going to push in and do what he can, but Lau finishes him off. 15-8, North backs against the wall.
Hey, I don't know, maybe this was a breath of fresh air, right? This is them just not having an issue now they've got rid of Nico for whatever reason. Maybe they realise, guys, we need to step up. We can't bank on one player just going crazy. We've got to work together more as a team and really put in the hours and grind this. And if that is the case, they've done very well in doing so. They're doing better at playing than at speaking. That's definitely true. But North now on 2 Tech 9s and 3 rifles, really having to bite the bullet there. And what can you say to that from Dennis?
Yeah, Dennis just finding one through smoke there, and Chris J getting Then taking down Cajun B, Spitty gets aggressive, finishes off AZ, leaving just Config and MSL to try and do anything, try and get back into this game, but it's not going to happen. All on Config now in a 4 versus 1. Dennis has spotted him out, Config does find the headshot, but the information will be had, and now these 3 Mouse players can press on in, work together to finish the game off, and as you said, win a map that not many people would have been expecting them to win. Really silencing any doubters. It's a massive win for them. They will still continue to put points on the board, still continue to be, well, at the top of the table and looking like one of the favourites to take this league at the moment, to be honest. No one's able to shut them down.
Config isolated though, still trying to keep this dream alive here for North. Does get peaked by Lau though, and that will be it. Mousesports close it out 16-8. That will be their map. And what a phenomenal performance across the board there from the European team. Not exactly a map you expected them to take, as you just said, but you got to give it to them. That was an incredible performance from the guys.
And why? What was just so different about Mouse? Because it's like they were executing well, but was it just a case they were hitting their shots? Was it just a case that Oscar was hitting everything in his sight lines?
Well, the thing is, I think you've got to come down to it as well over on the second half. I think North were looking like they were about to pull things back, but that eco win from Mouse just completely changed the tides of the matchup, right? You weren't expecting them to pick that up. They pick it up. It not only screws over North's economy, but it also puts Mousesports at something like 14, 15 rounds, and then that was just them being able to close it out off the back of that. So I feel like if that eco win didn't happen, we might have seen a closer scoreline to North. I think they could have actually brought back a few rounds. They seem to be very effective on that second half. At least, well, they were until the end.
Was it just that eco
no,
round
of course
as well?
not.
The quasi-buy, like, they really changed it. Because, I mean, if North had taken that one, and with the confidence have just brought them through, and they'd be able to get themselves back.
I still don't think they would have won the map, but I feel like this would have been a closer scoreline. 16-8, I called that in favour of North. So, yeah. Not only that, of course, individual performance was very, very good from Mousesports. We had Oscar stepping up. We had Dennis, not usually the man to be at the top of the scoreboard, but he definitely was. And Chris J as well, having a stellar performance as always. So yeah, Mousesports individual plays North. They were just playing a little bit scared on the T side, I feel. And especially on the CT side, we talked a little bit with the rotations being a little bit off, especially after spotting the bomb. They'd still take the time to rotate and keeping players on the site. And typically, that is just to stop the Ts, coming in with a flank over towards B, for example. But typically, you just need to rotate ASAP, right? Get those players on the site ASAP as soon as possible, basically.
What a result it is for Mouse, and I'm sure Mousesports fans will be extremely happy with that one, to see them still performing exceptionally well with Oscar. And I'm just going to do this, and I'm just going to tear that out, because that said that Mouse were going to lose, and they're not, because they played absolutely out of their skin.
You know what it was? Well, Nico was the problem.
I mean, I don't know if I will, if I'll agree with that, but still, we now move into Inferno as map number 2, but that is going to be after a short little break, so don't go anywhere, because map number 2 is Inferno.